Part 2 opens up with BuIIes giving birth to Jang Uk, and Jang Kang listening to her crying with teary eyes. Later, he is seen talking to the emperor, and the emperor thanks him for letting him stay in his body for 7 days. To Jang Kang's dismay, the emperor also mentions that he enjoyed those days with BuIIes. Following this, the emperor reminds Jang Kang about the prophecy he made during his coronation, and states that the son from BuIIes is supposed to be his heir. Later, during Jang Uk's birth, the king's star appears from between the clouds, fulfilling the prophecy. The scene then shifts to the present, when Jang Uk sees the same star while bathing and surprisingly opens his eyes. Meanwhile, Kim, the housekeeper, is concerned about Jang Uk and requests Naksu to give him additional attention. Soon, Naksu goes to comfort him, and she is pleased to see Jang Uk doing well. All of a sudden, Jang Uk's body temperature starts rising, and they discover that because of it, the temperature of the water in the bathtub has also increased. Naksu then thinks for a while and draws the conclusion that the flogging might have caused a sudden surge of strong energy inside Jang Uk, resulting in an increase in his body temperature. She warns him that he must endure a spike and fall in body temperature if he is to live, and harness this energy for himself. In order to lower Jang Uk's body temperature, Naksu suggests he stay in the bathtub and bring cold water from the well to lower his body temperature. But surprisingly, sometime later, his body begins to freeze, compelling Naksu to wrap him in blankets. While sleeping, though Jang Uk suggests that if he dies, she may take his energy and flee, she subsequently sleeps beside him and warms him up with her body temperature. Naksu also mentions that if she could do so, she would have done it already, and starts calming down Jang Uk with kind words. In the next scene, we see Seo-yeol and Park Dang-gu begging Park Jin to forgive Jang Uk, but to their dismay, he refuses their request and assigns them the task of finding a soul shifter in Songrim as soon as possible. He also shows them the sample body of a soul shifter kept in Shinbugwan, and asks them to keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, a stranger enters the home of the Jin family and summons Sepsali. The ghost approaches him and enters into a dog's body which is sleeping near the stranger. The stranger then leaves and begins looking for soul shifters, but the identity of the man is unknown and nobody knows what he wants. The following morning, Naksu awakens to discover Jang Uk holding his father's sword and struggling to unsheath it. She informs him that it is still too early, and that he must first perfect Ryusu, a special technique, before drawing the sword. Hearing this, Jang Uk claims that he won't be allowed to enter Songrim unless he can take the sword out of its sheath. He is inspired by Naksu, who declares her belief in his ability to do whatever he wants with hard work and dedication. Afterward, the Crown Prince, Go-won, visits Jang Uk at his residence and asks for Naksu's sword that he took from Jin Mu. Jang Uk agrees to the Crown Prince's request to take away Naksu's sword, but when the latter asks for Jang Kang's sword, Jang Uk refuses to hand it over. This attitude of Jang Uk enraged Go-won, prompting him to challenge the former to a sword fight to decide the one who will be keeping Jang Kang's sword. Jang Uk also accepts the challenge and the two prepare to battle. The Crown Prince then draws a boundary line, declaring that if Jang Uk can force him to go beyond the line, he will win. Jang Uk continues to take the Crown Prince's punches while they battle, but when Go-won is ready to deliver his fatal blow, Naksu runs in with a chamber pot and spills it in front of Go-won, causing him to walk out of his boundary line. Seeing this, Jang Uk points out that the Crown Prince has crossed the line and declares himself the winner. The Crown Prince accepts Jang Uk's appeal, but he becomes angry at Naksu and resolves to punish her. Go-won then rushes to Naksu, carrying his sword, only to be blocked by Jang Uk, who has successfully unsheathed his father's sword. As soon as Jang Uk holds his father's sword in his hands fill with energy, making him difficult to control himself. He then attacks Go-won with the sword, and when the Crown Prince tries to block the attack, his sword gets broken. Jang Uk continues to attack Go-won until Jin Cho-yeon binds his hand with magical beads, releasing its energy. Seo-yeol and Park Dang-gu also arrive there and witness the fight and beg Go-won to forgive Jang Uk. In the following scene, Jang Uk goes to meet Park Jin and shows him his powers by unsheathing Jang Kang's sword. All of them are aware of Jang Uk's lack of ability to control the sword's energy, as he draws it out of the sheath with the chain of beads around his arms. Park Jin then approaches him and asks him to remove the beads and show him by controlling the beads afterward. As soon as Jang Uk removes the beads, suddenly, his hand moves forward, making him strike Park Jin with the sword. Seeing this, Cho-yeon again wraps his arms with beads, retracting the powers. Park Jin then berates Jang Uk, mentioning that he will never be able to control the sword. At the same time, Seo-yeol tells Park Jin about Jang Uk beating Go-won in a face-off. Jin Mu sees Jang Uk's attack on the Crown Prince as a chance to get rid of him, and requests Park Jin to lock Jang Uk up in a prison. Later at night, Park Jin visits Jang Uk in the prison and confesses that he is really impressed by his ability to absorb the energy of the sword at such a startling rate. Despite the fact that they appear to be getting along, Park Jin cautions him about trying to be a Gwanju or a mage and subsequently reveals to him that he is not Jang Kang's child. Hearing this, Jang Uk becomes upset and asks Park Jin about his real father. In reply, Park Jin just states that only his mother knew him and no one else. Elsewhere, when leading a soul shifter from the palace to Danju, Jin Mu's subordinate comes to the conclusion that Mu Deok is truly Naksu. Meanwhile, we see the same stranger looking over the city of Diho, with Sapsali on his side. In the following scene, Naksu tries to calm down Jang Uk, but when he urges her to remain silent and threatens to sell her if she continues trying to control him, he gets incensed by his attitude. She makes the decision to act independently and asks Park Dang-gu to get Hyeoyeom to communicate with Jin Mu. While the three sit for a meeting, Naksu arrives there and provokes a second duel between Jang Uk and the Crown Prince to decide the fair winner. Everyone agrees to it, and later when Jin Mu persuades Go-won to take part in the battle, he sends representatives to Songrim to make the announcement. Hearing the announcement, Park Jin gets surprised and summons Jang Uk. Afterward, before Park Jin's men arrive to take Jang Uk, Seo Yul, Park Dang-gu, and Naksu inform Jang Uk that if he wants to survive, he must flee. When Jang Uk gets to know that Naksu is involved in all this, he opts to stay silent. The four individuals make a hasty escape and get to the riverside where Jang Uk and Naksu board a boat to depart. In the following scene, Park Jin is in front of the Emperor listening to his announcement that the battle between Jang Uk and Go-won will take place in the middle of next month. The Emperor also states that Jang Uk will forfeit his position as the Gwanju if he doesn't return by then. On the other hand, while on their way to Sari village, Jang Uk exposes Naksu and refers to her as a crazy master. Hearing this, Naksu cautions him to prepare for extreme surroundings, leaving him perplexed as Sari village is not meant to be frightening. Unbeknownst to Jang Uk, Naksu is actually taking him to Danhyanggok, her hometown. Next, we are shown a flashback about Naksu's childhood, when she witnessed the tragic incident of her father's death, prompting her to live her life as a soul shifter to avenge her father's death. Back to the present, Naksu and Jang Uk arrive at Danhyanggok, the place where Naksu was trained to be what she is today. She then deduces to train her lazy pupil, Jang Uk, through hardships until she discovers that the place where she spends her entire childhood is now occupied by someone else. While Naksu is curious about the person residing there, Jang Uk is pleased with the pleasant living arrangement and the food available. Naksu soon encounters Sapsali, who is disguised as a dog and recognizes her as a potential soul shifter before attempting to attack her. Fortunately, Jang Uk arrives there in time and calms the dog down. Sapsali seems to be afraid of Jang Uk as he is the one who broke Sapsali's vase at Songrim. The scene then cuts to a gathering of mages to oversee Go-won and Jang Uk's battle. About the duel, everyone agrees, and Park Jin also makes an announcement that Jang Uk won't have a master to support him during the match. Back to Danhyanggok, Naksu falls asleep in the middle of the conversation, and Jang Uk tucks her into bed before sleeping on the floor. Later in the evening, the strange man who stole Sapsali before shows up at the cottage, and from Sapsali finds out that there is a soul shifter inside his cabin. The guy plans to kill Naksu and walks inside, but just as he is about to assault her, he pauses and realizes that there is a magnificent soul residing in the girl's body. Because of this, he is curious about how she has managed to maintain her sanity after soul shifting, and he also wants to know where her powers have vanished. Sadly, before he can look into it further, the now awake Jang Uk can be seen standing behind the man, holding his sword. Unfortunately, when Jang Uk tries to attack the stranger, he fails to take down the opposition and is quickly rendered unconscious. Next, Naksu gets a vision of both herself and the girl whose body she has taken over, Mu Deok. Afraid, she gets up and walks outside, only to find a strange man cooking food. She then asks Jang Uk about the man and how he got there. Both of the guys inform her that she saw them fight last night, but when Naksu claims that she does not remember anything, the strange man gets even more curious about her condition. While Jang Uk and Naksu are talking, the man then walks over to Sapsali and informs it that the girl is a very special soul shifter. At Songrim, Park Dang-gu and Seo Yu discuss Jang Uk and Naksu and their safety. They also believe that the two are residing in Sari village. In the following scene, Naksu and Jang Uk head back to the cabin and watch the strange man's every move in an effort to determine his level. When the guy unexpectedly approaches Jang Uk and prevents him from drinking the tea he had been enjoying, they become certain that he has mastered the upper levels of Chisu. In the following scene, as Jang Uk abruptly strikes the table, the bowl atop flies and strikes Naksu on the head. But when he sees how joyful Naksu is despite bleeding, he labels her as mad. He quickly realizes, though, that she is so committed to aiding him that he is unable to speak. In another passage, Park Jin recounts his chat with Jang Kang, in which the latter informed Park Jin that he had previously exchanged Jang Uk's birth record, which was kept at Chinbugwan. That is until Jin Mu comes in and inquires as to his activity at Chinbugwan. Park Jin then explains to him that he has come to look into the attack on Songrim by the soul shifter since the victim's body belonged to someone from Chinbugwan. Nevertheless, Park Jin learns that there is a corpse present in the hidden room before other mages come and the inquiry gets underway. Nevertheless, the body has been moved, and Park Jin requests to visit the secret room, only to fail in finding anything inside. Jin Mu is not aware that Park Jin has already instructed Park Dong-gu and Seo Yul to be on the lookout, because he was certain they would relocate any items that needed to be hidden. As Park Jin assumed, Park Dong-gu and Seo Yul notice a wagon guarded by two men being driven out of the place secretly. The two manage to get hold of one of the guards while Seo Yul follows the remaining one. Following this, when Seo Yul arrives at the wagon, he discovers it to be empty but for a Songrim spirit plaque placed inside a box. After knowing about the plaque, Park Jin instructs Seo Yul and Park Dong-gu to locate Jang Uk and inquire him about the spirit plaque. Meanwhile, Jin Mu informs his subordinate that this most recent mistake will cause his soul to be transferred into the body of a palace eunuch. Here, it is revealed that Jin Mu is performing all of this while assisting Her Majesty, the Queen. The following day, Naksu observes that Jang Uk is integrating into the stranger's everyday life in Danhyanggok while neglecting to hone his talents. When questioned about what he is doing, she is informed by Jang Uk that he is pleased with his current way of life and that she should go if she opposes. She becomes irate and calls him a jerk for breaking his word to assist her in regaining her powers. On the other side, Jin Ho Kyeon, the mother of Cho-yeon, approaches housekeeper Kim with a proposal: Jang Uk's marriage with Jin Cho-yeon to save the former's life. Back at Danhyanggok, when Jang Uk inquires as to whether the mysterious guy has any other pupils, the man encourages Jang Uk to think twice before becoming his student. The guy then states about one of his pupils, Master Hyo-yeom, who ultimately abandoned celibacy and became a pharmacist. Jang Uk is asked whether he wants to live a regular life, and if so, he should just stop using his energy. The man is then quickly cut off by Sepsali, who informs him of the corpse that has washed up on the neighboring river bank. When the mysterious man asks Jang Uk to accompany him, he declines but finds out that Naksu has already departed the mountains without informing him. Meanwhile, Naksu visits the brothel owner, asking Ju-wol to spread rumors about Jang Uk's training. During this, Naksu also learns that several authorities are present there for an investigation. A subordinate of Jin Mu stops her as Naksu is leaving the brothel, because he thinks she could be Naksu. When Jin Mu's subordinate tries to capture Naksu, she notices the crown prince there and begs him for assistance. With the king approaching and talking to her, she manages to evade the attempted abduction. Once they arrive at the location of the dead body, Jang Uk continues to remain with the enigmatic guy, who once more invites Jang Uk to become his student. Right then, Jang Uk flees the scene when people from Chinbugwan arrive to remove the dead. But when they load the dead body onto a cart, a sudden rainbow distracts them, allowing the mysterious man to take the cart away without their knowledge. Next, with the help of Ju-wol, Jang Uk discovers an intoxicated Naksu at the brothel, and tells her that because of her weak body, she cannot be the Naksu that she used to be before. On the other hand, Seo Yul and Park Dong-gu also arrive at Danhyanggok, and Seo Yul starts remembering the time he spent with Naksu at a young age. Soon, the two meet Jang Uk and he informs them that he and Naksu are residing in a chamber with a guy named Master Lee. Meanwhile, Master Lee enters Songrim by disabling the barrier without any plaque and carrying the dead body of the victim of soul shifting. The news of someone breaking through the barrier reaches Park Jin, Hyo-yeom, and housekeeper Kim when they are talking about Jang Uk and Jin Cho-yeon's marriage. When they get the news, the trio arrives outside of their meeting hall, and as soon as Hyo-yeom sees Master Lee, he rushes to him and greets him, surprising everyone. In the last scene, Naksu and Jang Uk are at a beautiful place when she tells him about the time she could climb the nearby tree and look at the beautiful moon. However, she also mentions that in order to climb that tree, one must reach the level of a Chisu, one of the most difficult skills to master as a mage. During their conversation, she also cautions Jang Uk that if ever she is arrested by people from Chinbugwan, then he should not save her. The episode ends with Jang Uk promising Naksu to reach the level of Chisu soon and take her to the top of the tree to witness the moon. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.